Welcome to a play-by-play review. I'm your host, Henry, and we are back, I guess technically a little early for baseball, considering last time I did this was on Thursday night, Friday morning, sort of. You know what I mean? By this point, we're like 16 weeks into the baseball season, but yeah, I mean, we're basically just going back to last Friday. So the start of really the second half, like the second official half of baseball, post All-Star break. So it hasn't been a full week since my last episode, though it's been, basically a full week since the last games have been played. Podcast wise, sort of. Does that make sense? Because the last one had gone up to Sunday, and then you get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. Anyway, we'll move on. So we'll move right into Friday. So we go back to not July 10th. That does not look right. Right? It should go to the 17th, right? Yeah. That looks more correct. So there was also the one game. So there was technically a game on Thursday. Mets, Phillies. Mets, that one won that series, or not series, won that game 4-1. It's actually only a 3-game series that those two teams would play, division rival matchup. But we started the Friday series, or Friday games, with the start of new series between everyone coming out of the All-Star break. And there were a couple storylines. The Orioles had won 4 in a row, coming into that Friday, which is pretty nice. But yeah, because it was 4 in a row. The Red Sox had won at that point. Hang on, I gotta think. It was, I think, 10 in a row, 10 or 11 in a row at that point. Or no, it was 9 in a row. They had won 9 in a row going into the All-Star break. I've had something in my eye for like a week straight, and it's been really, really annoying. Been trying to get it out, and it just does not want to do that. But anyway, yeah, the Red Sox had won 9 straight going into the All-Star break. So they were a team that a lot of people were looking at. They actually wound up playing a doubleheader against the AL leading Tampa Bay Rays. At that point, I actually don't know they're still leading the American League. Let me check that real quick. I'll get to the standings later, but I am curious to see. No, they are still leading the AL as a whole. Not by much, though. It's been a bit of a shakeup as of late. But yeah, the Red Sox are, they played their first game in the doubleheader and absolutely demolished the Rays 10-0. So they would win 10 in a row after that one. Poetically winning 10-0 and getting the win streak to 10 in a row. So that was a good way to, start off the post All-Star break schedule pretty much for the Red Sox. And then their second game, which I'll just get into right now, that they would play doubleheader wise, they would win that one too. They would win this one 5-3. They actually, I believe, came back to win this one. Willie O'Brien with 2 home runs in the game. So the Red Sox, for the first time in basically, I think like since the second game of the season or something like that, basically the first time since like early April, they had gotten back to 500. They got at that point 48-48. And actually, no, it wasn't a comeback. They were just kind of stayed a little bit ahead the whole time. But yeah, 11 in a row for the Red Sox coming out of the All-Star break. Pretty crazy. The Orioles, meanwhile, would win 3-2 off of a Taylor Ward 2-run home run in the 8th inning against the Astros in Houston. This is a very fun game to call. Obviously, because it was a Friday night, I streamed this one. If you want to see me stream as a play-by-play guy, the Orioles every Friday night, you can see that on my YouTube channel. It is Henry the Host. That is all one word. You can also find this podcast there, along with various other things that I am in the very slow process of doing. I've had a couple YouTube videos that I've wanted to edit that have been in the editing suite for literal months that I just have not gotten around to. But yeah, it's been fun. Anyway, yeah, Orioles got to 4 games under 500 at that point, but also won 5 in a row, which was really nice to see. The Orioles took that opener there against Houston. The Dodgers would play the Yankees, winning 2-1 here. Max Muncy with a 2-run home run off of Garrett Cole in the 7th inning to eventually get the win there. So that was a rematch of the 2024 World Series, where the Dodgers won in 5. Because last year was Dodgers Blue Jays. Anyway, so they would take that one there. Dodgers 62-36 after that one. They are just insanely good. So after that, the White Sox would win 12-4 over the Blue Jays, who have been struggling a ton as Toronto. It's not been good, to say the least, for the Blue Jays. This one obviously very bad. Sam Antonacci with a 2-run home run in the game. He's actually been really good for the White Sox as of late. I don't know if you want to call me Italian Stallion. I know it's more of like a Philly thing because of Rocky, but it's Sam Antonacci. He's very, very Italian name. I actually don't know if he is Italian, but it sounds Italian. But anyway, he's one of the many guys on the White Sox that have been like a pleasant surprise for them, and the reason why they're at that point after winning that one 51-45. So they're actually playing very, very well. And like leading the AL Central, I'm pretty sure, and one of the top teams in the American League. I mean, you got Murakami and Miguel Vargas as well. They're actually a pretty solid team overall, surprisingly enough. Anyway, the Braves, who had been slumping a decent bit this month, they did not slump in this game against the Texas Rangers. They would win 15-1. Chris Sale also pitched 7 shutout innings in this one. Cal Quantrill got hit with a loss here. It was all Braves pretty much. They 19 total hits, 15 runs. It wasn't even like there was one big inning. They scored 2 in the second, 4 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 4 in the seventh, and 3 in the eighth. So there's just constant pressure on the Rangers, who at that point were 49-48. So still above 500 after that point, but kind of still mediocre. Anyway, the Brewers would win 2-1 in extras over the Marlins on a walk-off single. This was start of 3-game series. Marlins actually struggling a little bit as of late after their absurdly good June. Their July was really good, and then it started to not be good at all. They've actually had a really bad stretch. I'm actually looking at it right now. Because they had won 6 in a row going into their final series before the All-Star break against Cleveland. They got swept by the Guardians going into the All-Star break, and they have still not won a game. They've actually lost 5 in a row. Coming out of the All-Star break. So they've actually lost 8 in a row now that I'm looking at it, which is not ideal, to say the least, for the Marlins. But I mean, hey, it's like the Cubs, they won 10 in a row, then they lost 10 in a row, then they won 10 in a row again. Sometimes they're a little streaky, and the Marlins are being very streaky at the moment. And that June was a little too good to be true. I think a little bit too much, but still, they're still multiple games under 500 or over 500 at this point. But they do need to figure out how to win baseball games again. Also, the Brewers got to 60 wins after this one, so good for Milwaukee. They're still playing very well. Also, the Marlins are strangely not very good at home. They're at this point 21-26 after this game on Friday. 21-26. I'm also reading that completely wrong. They're 21-26 away, so they're very bad on the road. Is Miami? They're much better at home. I don't know why, but that is what it is. Anyway, the Twins would win 5-2 over the Cubs. Ryan Jeffers with the go-ahead 3-run home run. Bailey Ober with 7 strikeouts in the game. Twins got to 500 again. They've been hovering right around that mark for a while. Has Minnesota, though. Yeah, we'll get to Minnesota later. But yeah, they've been a very mediocre team, has Minnesota. Anyway, speaking of a team that has also been pretty mediocre this season, the Padres. They would lose in extras to the very bad Kansas City Royals, 7-6 in the 10th inning. Carter Jensen with the 2-run walk-off single in a 4-run 10th inning there for Kansas City. I think I was watching this when I was streaming. I was like, oh wow, the Padres are up 6-3 over the Royals in the 10th inning. They're gonna totally win that, and I guess they did not win that. Sucks for them. That's rough. Score 3 in the top of the 10th and then lose by giving up 4 in the bottom of the 10th. That's rough. Royals at this point 39-59, so still 20 games under 500, which is not good at all. Padres 1 game under 500 after that one, because I think that is 20 games under 500. But basically it's more, I guess it's more, you flip 10 losses into wins, they would get to 500, but it's still by the number, they were 20 games. Anyway, Royals are a very bad team. Expect them to sell some pieces. Don't know what that was. Sell some pieces at the deadline. Maybe Michael Wacha, I don't know. He was technically an all-star, even though he's kind of all right. But we'll see what happens. Trade deadline is coming up in like 2 weeks, basically. A little under 2 weeks now. Will be very interesting to see how that goes. Anyway, the Rockies would lose 7-2 over the Reds. Spencer Steer with an inside-the-park home run. Brady Singer with his 4th win of the season. Spencer Steer also had 2 home runs in the game. One of them actually managed to leave the park. And this was, win number 1 of that series for Cincinnati. They're also probably going to be selling at the deadline. Honestly, both these teams are. Both Cincinnati and Colorado. Colorado 39-60. Reds 44-52 after this game. Speaking of teams that are also probably selling at the deadline, the Tigers and the Angels. Tigers winning this one 2-1 over Anaheim. Hao-Yu Lee with a 2-run double with 2 outs in the top of the 9th to eventually win it. Kader Montero with his 6th win of the season. So pretty crazy comeback there for the Tigers, though I still expect them to lose, yes, I expect them to lose more games, but I expect them to sell at the deadline. They also just got blown out today by someone. I actually forget who they played today, but they lost by a lot of runs today, if I remember correctly. I had MLB Big Inning up, which is very fun. I like that. It's kind of like NFL Red Zone, but for baseball. I wish they would do it for like the entire slate of the like 7 o'clock games, but they don't really do it. But it's still very, very fun. And I enjoy watching it when I have the time because it gets you a good bit of the action overall. And the production quality is pretty good. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I would like to be sponsored by MLB Network, but that is wishful thinking, to say the least. Anyway, the Cardinals would win 5-4 over the Diamondbacks, who have been very mediocre. Cardinals a bit better than that. JJ Weatherholt with the solo home run in the game, and Ivan Herrera with the go-ahead sac fly. I'm assuming these were Weatherholt just did in the 5th. I don't know why I was phrasing that so oddly, but yeah, Herrera with the eventual game-winning sac fly in the top of the 9th there for St. Louis. Paul Sewell got hit with a loss there. He's 2-5 on the season, though he does have a good amount of saves. He's actually having a pretty solid season overall. Riley O'Brien did get the save, though. He's actually having a better season, though, as we've kind of seen so far. But Diamondbacks still 49-48, so they're slightly over 500, but still very much hovering around that mark. Their only hope is for postseason is the wild card, since LA, the Dodgers, have that division pretty much on lockdown at the moment. Anyway, the Nationals would win 23-4 over the Athletics. Andres Chaparro with 8 RBIs in the game. Gage Jump got hit with his 5th loss of the season. 4 for 5 for 2 home runs for Andres Chaparro, and an absolute bludgeoning by the Nats to get back to 500. A's have just been in a complete free fall since June, mostly. It's been... I'm looking at their schedule right now. It has not gotten all that much better. Like in terms of the entire, like if I just go to their homepage, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually 2 by series. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 20. So 26 games they have listed on here. The A's have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of 26. They're 6 of their last 26. So they're 6-20 in their last 26 games. That is terrible. Just absolutely terrible there for the Athletics. And I don't even think it got much better before that. That's really not good. They were in contention for the AL West for a little bit, and now they are just not at all. Like they are currently, I think actually they might be fifth in the division. Okay, they're actually fourth, but not by much. It's not good. Anyway, last but not least, the Giants would shut out the Mariners 7-0. Willie Adames with his 7th career grand slam as they would destroy the Mariners here. Landon Rupp pitched a great game here. Only 2 hits given up by the Giants overall. Obviously, no runs either. So that is a very good performance there. Then we also had Pirates Guardians, but that one was postponed due to the poor air quality to be made up the following day, I believe, because this was during the week when the Canadian wildfires got like the smoke from it all blew down over into the U.S. and just messed everything up. But luckily, it only postponed that one game for the next day. We go to Saturday as well. And this was the Red Sox winning their 12th straight, winning 7-6 over the Rays. Aroldis Chapman got another save there, 21 on the season. This was the Red Sox scoring 4 in the bottom of the 7th to eventually come back and win. They've just been finding incredible ways to scrape out victories over this winning streak. It's been insane for the Red Sox, and this is the first time since opening day where they won on opening day. First time the Red Sox were over 500. They were 49-48 after this one. In the meantime, the Orioles would win 4-2 over the Astros, winning their 6th in a row. This was a extra innings victory for the Orioles as well. Kind of a pitcher's duel for most of it. It was 1-1 going into the 9th, and 1-1 going into the 10th. Each team scored 1 in the 10th inning. And it was kind of crazy, this game, and good, just overall great work by the Orioles on both sides to eventually win. And this was, I believe this was the one where, hang on, let me double check, because I think this is the one where Tyler O'Neill makes like an amazing defensive play, because the Astros get, like, I think they get bases loaded. Yeah, they get bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th and no outs, and it's tied 2-2 at that point. This is like refreshing myself that this is the game. Yeah. So the Padres had bases loaded bottom of the 10th, no outs, 2-2 game. So basically anything past the infield almost certainly scores in the winning run. Jose Altuve is up to bat, pops into a shallow center field. Tyler O'Neill comes in, makes the catch for the first out, and it looks like a sac fly, but he throws an absolute dart home, gets the double play, and then Kittredge gets the next out. So the Astros strand everyone on base without getting the winning run in the bottom of the 10th. Orioles scored 2 in the top of the 11th and hold on to win 4-2. It was an absolutely crazy game to win their 6th straight. Very unlike the 2026 Orioles, but I love it. This is a fantastic game. But anyway, after that, we go to the actual Pirates and Guardians game. This was game 1 of the doubleheader. Pirates would win this one 7-1. Gavin Williams, his 5th loss of the season. He actually has a 4 ERA flat after this one. Paul Skeens with 8 strikeouts in 7 innings, though he actually didn't get the win for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it was the Pirates offense just scored late. Why did he not get the win here? Or wait. Oh, no, it's because it's giving me, I think it's giving me the, hang on. Is it just giving me the different? Yeah, I guess Paul Skeens did not pitch in this doubleheader, so I don't really know why it's telling me Paul Skeens pitched. Pirate Skeens strikes out 7, 8 and 17 per. What? Hang on. Oops, I just closed the tab on accident. Now I am very confused. I am very, very confused. Because it's telling me Paul Skeens strikes out 8 to win 7-1, unless there was another 7-1 victory by the Guardians or Pirates. Oh, there was. Okay. That's why there's 2 separate 7-1 victories by the Pirates over the Guardians. The second one, which I think is going to be on Sunday, was a Paul Skeens start. So spoilers for what happened there. But yeah, this one was not a Paul Skeens start. This is a Jared Jones start. Anyways, that's why. ESPN goof there. That was not me. The Cubs would win 6-2 over the Twins, handing Taj Bradley his 4th loss of the season. Nico Horner with 4 hits on the day. Matthew Boyd got his 6th win of the season. He pitched very well. This was the Cubs evening up the series there against Minnesota. Cubs 55-43 after that one. Next up, the Phillies would win 6-1 over the Mets. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, and Jesus Luzardo all played well. Schwarber with his 33rd home run of the season. And this was the Phillies evening up that series there against their division rival. Phillies at that point 55-44, so actually one more loss than the Cubs, but same amount of wins, though different division. But in terms of the top wild card spot in the National League, those 2 teams are kind of in the hunt for it because Milwaukee and Atlanta, I think, lead their divisions at this point. Anyway, the Blue Jays would snap their losing streak, winning 1-0 over the White Sox. Shane Bieber with his first win of the season after returning from the injured list. He's 1-1. Louis Varland saved number 20 as well. Davis Martin lost number 5, but you can't really put this one on him because he only gives up 1 run. You got to have the offense do more than that. But so yeah, the Blue Jays even up the series there. The Rockies would even up the series against the Reds, winning 10-3. Tomas Lagana with his 9th win of the season. TJ Rumfield with a 2-run home run and 4 total hits on the day. He had a really good game there. So Rockies also snapped their 3-game losing streak. Got to 40 wins as well. I think they're the last team at this point to get to 40 wins. The Rangers, in the meantime, would even up the series against the Braves, winning 7-6. So a lot of teams evening up the series, so to speak, on this Saturday. Brandon Nimmo with the go-ahead 2-run single in the 6th inning, as the Rangers would eventually outlast the Braves. Jacob Latz, his 19th save of the season. I feel like he made the All-Star team as an alternate, if I remember correctly, because he had actually been pitching pretty well this season. One team that did not even up the series was the Marlins, as they would lose 8-6 here to the Brew Crew. Brewers came back to win this one as well. They were down early, down 3-0 early, but came back to win, scoring, and they almost did blow it. They went down 3-0 by the top of the 2nd, scored 8 unanswered by the 7th inning, then gave up 3 in the top of the 9th, but did wind up holding out to win in the end over Miami, as the Marlins would continue to skid. Brewers got to 61 wins on the season as well. Trevor McGill, right? Yeah, Trevor McGill, his 15th save of the season as well there for Milwaukee. So we go to Kansas City, winning 6-1 over the Padres. Daniel Lynch IV with his 3rd win of the season. This was Kansas City taking the series, winning 2 in a row over San Diego. Royals also got to 41, so them and the Rockies, the last 2 teams there to get to 40 wins. They do it on the same day. Actually, wait, never mind. I'm looking at it now. Angels are the last 40 wins there at that point. 38-61 still. Where am I, though? The Diamondbacks winning 5-3 over the Cardinals, evening up the series, as is the theme for this day. Nolan Arenado with a 2-run double as he gets close to 2,000 hits, according to the little text blurb there. Paul Sewald, his 23rd save, so this time he actually does complete the save there. Dustin May, his 7th loss of the season there for St. Louis. In Game 2 of the doubleheader, the Guardians would win 5-3, so they would even up the series against the Pirates. Travis Bazzana with a 2-run homer in the game. It's really between him and Kevin McGonigal for AL Rookie of the Year at the moment. They've both been playing incredibly well. The Mariners, I almost said Marlins, I don't know why, but Mariners would, as you might guess, even up the series against the Giants, winning 4-3 here. Julio Rodriguez walks it off in the bottom of the 10th inning with a sac fly as well. So good on the Mariners there. They are at that point one game under 500. Mariners 4 runs on only 3 hits too, which is interesting. After that, we get to the Athletics evening up the series against the Nationals, winning 15-1. So after losing 23-4 the previous day, or 23-6, whatever it was, they win 15-1 here. They stopped their 10-game losing streak as well. JT Ginn, his 8th win of the season. Zach Littell, his 7th loss. JT Ginn actually pitched a no-hitter into the 7th inning for the Athletics, as they would get to 42 wins on the season. After that one, Nationals fall back under 500 by a game. And last but not least, we have the Tigers winning 7-0 over the Angels. Tarek Skubal, his 6th win of the season. Grayson Rodriguez, his 3rd loss of the season, as the Tigers would win 2 in a row there over Anaheim. 9 strikeouts in 7 innings for Skubal as well. And we also had the Dodgers and Yankees game postponed for Sunday due to inclement weather. And we go to Sunday in the conclusion for pretty much all these series. And in the 4-game series that the Red Sox and Rays would play, including that doubleheader on Friday, the Red Sox would sweep the 4-game series, winning their 13th straight, winning 6-1 here. Sonny Gray, his 12th win of the season. Shane McClanahan, his 6th loss. Wilson Contreras with a 2-run homer in the game. He's been having an amazing stretch. Him and Willie Abreu both are just playing out of their minds at the moment. But Red Sox, 15-48, 13 in a row. Just absolutely rolling right now. The Orioles, in the meantime, would win 7 in a row, sweeping the Astros with a 5-2 victory. Brandon Young gets his 8th win of the season. Kobe May with a home run in the game as well. Definitely the best performance Baltimore had against Houston that weekend. And they saved the best for last. It was really nice. So after that, we get to the White Sox winning 3-0 over the Blue Jays and taking the series. Sean Burke, his 7th win of the season. Trey Savage, his 5th loss of the season. 4 total hits get surrendered by the White Sox. No runs. It's like they're saying it. Burke and 2 relievers combined on 4-hitter. It's like, that's not the same as like trying to say they combined for a 1 or 2 hitter. It's like 4 hits is a decent amount. It's like the shutout's obviously impressive, but it's still 4 hits. Like, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Anyway, in game 1 of the doubleheader between the Dodgers and the Yankees, the Dodgers would win 8-2. Yoshinobu Yamamoto gives up only 4 hits on the day as well. He gets his 10th win. Cam Schlittler, his 6th loss of the season. Still, though, a 2.2 ERA. But Dodgers, just a really good team. It's hard to beat them. The Mets would take the series over the Phillies, winning 6-1. Nolan McLean with 10 strikeouts in the game as well. Francisco Lindor with a home run, 2. So Mets winning their series against a division rival there. Dodgers also took the series against the Yankees as they won first 2 games in a row. The Braves would take the series against the Rangers after losing the first. They would win, or actually after winning the first, they would lose second and then win the third here. They would win 8-5. Drake Baldwin with 5 hits and 2 home runs in the game. Really annoyed me because I was playing against fantasy and the game was actually very close. So I could have used him to not do this. But he's been having an excellent season. So it's hard to bet against, in a sense, Drake Baldwin. Braves 57-41 after this one as well. In the conclusion between the Pirates and the Guardians, this was the Pirates, Paul Skeens 7-1 victory. 8 strikeouts in 7 innings for Paul Skeens. He got to win number 9 on the season. So the Pirates would win the series. Yep, win games 1 and 3 of the series there. Both of their wins, 7-1 victories. After that, the Brewers would complete the sweep of the Marlins, winning 3-1. William Contreras with the 3-run homer that did it for the Brewers in the bottom of the ninth to walk it off. Pete Fairbanks, who's not having a good season at all, the closer for the Marlins with a 7.42 ERA, which is not good. But yep, a walk-off 3-run homer there for the Brewers to sweep the Fish. The Padres would really ensure that they didn't get swept by the Royals, winning 19-2. Ty France with a grand slam and a solo home run. Jackson Merrill also with a pair of home runs in the game, as they would just destroy the Royals there. Noah Cameron with his 8th loss of the season. Although really that's like the entirety of the Royals pitching staff having a bad time in that game. My goodness. 19. That is a lot of runs. Oh, and the rain's back. It's been raining all night pretty much, feels like. But anyway, the Cubs would win 10-1 over the Twins. Shota Imanaga with 7 shutout innings for Chicago, as they would take games 2 and 3 over Minnesota. So they would get to 56 and 43, putting some pressure on Milwaukee at least, but still, it's definitely one of the better teams in the National League at the moment. The Reds would win the series over the Rockies, winning 9-6. Tyler Stevenson with 2 home runs in the game. Hunter Green with a very nice performance here. 7 strikeouts over 6 innings. He got his 2nd win of the season. A lot of the Rockies' runs didn't come till late in the game. Scored 3 over the course of the 8th and 9th innings there, but was not enough, as they would still lose. The Nats would take the series over the A's, winning 5-2. CJ Abrams and Dylan Cruz with back-to-back home runs in the 5th inning there for the Nats. Foster Griffin with win number 11 on the season. So they would take games 1 and 3 over the A's. Also got back to 500 again at 50 and 50. The Angels would avoid the sweep against the Tigers, winning 3-2. Ryan Johnson with 5 strikeouts and 1 run through 5 innings. Jorge Soler with a decent performance. Same with Zach Neto. Let's see, was it a home run? It was not. In fact, not a home run, but they got RBIs, and that's what they needed. All they needed. So they got to 39 wins. Still not good, but they got close to 40 wins. Anyway, the Mariners would win 6-3 over the Giants. Andres Munoz, his 17th save of the season. Logan Gilbert, 10 strikeouts through 6 innings as well. So that was a pretty good performance there for the 8-6, 3.38 ERA Logan Gilbert. And this was Mariners scoring, actually technically coming back to wins. They went down 2-0 off of a Bryce Eldridge 2-run shot in the 1st inning, but would score 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 2 in the 7th to eventually win. And they got to 15-50. So 500 again for Seattle. Speaking of 15-50 teams, the Diamondbacks actually a little bit above, 500. Like teams above 500. The Diamondbacks would win 8-7 over the Cardinals, 51 and 48 after this one. There's also a walk-off double in the 10th inning. Max Kepler with that RBI there for the D-backs to win. In extras, they would win the series against St. Louis, winning games 2 and 3. Then last but not least, the second game of the doubleheader between the Dodgers and Yankees would go in favor of the worst team ever to exist in the New York Yankees. Jazz Chisholm with the go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 8th. Actually, Cody Bellinger with the RBI single in the bottom of the 1st made it 1-0. Dodgers didn't score until a Tommy Edman solo shot in the top of the 8th to make it 1-1. Chisholm then homers right back then in the bottom of the 8th to eventually give the Yankees the 2-1 victory. David Bednar with his 4th win of the season. I guess he doesn't get a save. Hang on. Why did he not get a save? I assume he pitched the 9th. I'm guessing he got a save. It's just not really saying that he did. That's weird. I don't know why that wouldn't be a save situation. because you're up 2-1 going into the top of the ninth. I don't know. Baseball is weird sometimes. Anyway, we go to Monday. So, again, technically it's 2 days ago, but I'm thinking it's yesterday still because this is Tuesday night, Wednesday morning that I'm recording this. So we get to the start of brand new series for everyone. And we start with the Orioles and the Red Sox in a highly anticipated matchup because, it's 13-game winning streak coming in for the Red Sox, 7-game winning streak for the Orioles. Or it might have been 14-game winning streak for the Red Sox. It was it was 13, yeah. But this was such a frustrating game as an Orioles fan because they should have won this game. Instead, they committed 4 errors. Very poor defensive showcase by the Orioles. And they lose this one 6-5. Also, nearly won it, or nearly took the lead in the top of the ninth. Tyler Neal hits an absolute scorcher off the bat over to the shortstop side with runners on second and third, 2 outs. And the shortstop, I forget his name because it's not their everyday shortstop. But he makes an insane play to save at least 1, if not 2 runs. Just very unfortunate. Like, a lot of things just did not break the Orioles' way in this one. So they lose the opener here. They lose their losing streak. Red Sox win their 14th after this one. 14th in a row. It was rough, but I'm glad to know that the Orioles at least had a good chance at winning this one. They just kind of beat themselves. I saw one post. I forget. It was by one of the bigger Orioles accounts or Orioles fan accounts on Twitter. And he was like, the Orioles made sure no one else beat them to end off their winning streak. They just beat themselves to end it off or something like that. It was very funny. But yeah, it is what it is. Orioles still at this point just 3 games back of 500. So they still have a chance to win the series. They're actually going to be playing a doubleheader coming up here on Wednesday due to the game being rained out earlier today. Same with actually the Yankees and Pirates game because there was a massive rainstorm that swept through most of the East Coast and messed a lot of things up. But yeah, that's going something in my personal life, but I realize it's probably not a great idea. So do want to keep my personal life to myself. But yeah, anyway, it's not anything bad. It's just something to do with the weather today. But anyway, what am I on? The Guardians winning 13-4 over their division rival Twins. Started series there. Tanner Bybee, his 4th win of the season. Joe Ryan lost number 6. And a lot of people saying that Joe Ryan could be traded at the deadline as a starting pitcher. Could probably see that happening. Twins just aren't quite there at the moment. They're at this point 49-52 after this loss. So yeah, that was unfortunate there for the Twins. But Guardians actually a pretty solid team overall. They scored 6 in the first 2 innings alone. And then scored 1 run in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and then 3 in the 7th. So very pesky offensive showcase there for Cleveland. A lot of home runs in this game. Actually, hang on. I'm going to count how many home runs how many home runs did they have? They had, let's see, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7 different home runs, or 7 total home runs in this game by 5 players. So both Rhys Hoskins and Petey Halpin with 2 home runs in the game. So that was a batting practice there for Cleveland. Next up, the Phillies would win 10-7 over the Dodgers in a pretty crazy game there. Christopher Sanchez, his 12th win of the season. Emmett Sheehan, his 7th loss in the start of a very entertaining series that had a crazy end. In this one, Phillies scored 4 in the bottom of the 6th and bottom of the 2nd to really break the game open. The Dodgers did put on a run there. They scored 3 in the top of the 9th to make it at least close, but it was pretty much all Phillies there. Next up, the Yankees would win 8-5 over the Pirates. This is a weird one from what I saw. Yeah, Pirates gave up 4 in the bottom of the 1st alone, including a 3-run home run by Jazz Chisholm. But then they scored 3 in the top of the 2nd, and then 3 in the top of the third to actually take the lead for a moment. Then they gave up 4 in the bottom of the third, including another Jazz Chisholm, this time a 2-run home run. And then Jose Cabrera with a RBI ground rule double to score 2 more. And that was how the scoring actually finished. All 13 of the runs between those two teams happened in the first 3 innings. But 5 RBIs there for Chisholm, as the Yankees would take the opener there against Pittsburgh. The Rays would win 7-1 over the Blue Jays, so they would get off their losing streak there. They had a rough go of things against the Red Sox, that's for sure. Luckily for them, the Blue Jays are not as good. The Nick Martinez, his 9th win of the season. Dylan Cease, his 5th loss of the season. Though both of them actually have pretty similar ERA at the moment. After that, the Braves would win 3-2 over the Padres. Bryce Elder, his 6th win of the season. Padres not having a great stretch at the moment. Not a walk-off or anything like that. Just a normal game of baseball, so to speak. In the meantime, the Brewers would win 8-3 over the Mets. Freddie Peralta with his 9th loss of the season there. Brewers with a lot of runs early. They put up 5 in the first 3 innings alone. Kind of won them the game right there. And like by the numbers, yes, it did win them the game because the Mets only scored 3 runs, but definitely made it a lot easier going forward. Next up, the Royals would play host to the Giants and win 4-3 over San Francisco, and a pair of poor teams in this season. Let's see, is this anything late that happened? It's actually a walk-off Nick Lawton sack bunt to a squeeze bunt in the bottom of the 9th to give them the win. I'm actually going to watch the highlights. I don't know if the sound is going to show up on podcast. I don't think it will. This is also not, this is the entire highlights. I'm just going to, there we go. Let's see. Yep, that is in fact a squeeze bunt, and it was just booted by the first baseman. Should have had it. I'm actually not sure who. I don't know if that's Matt Chapman. Who is that playing first base? For the Giants. What? Java, why do you want me to make? Okay. Thank you, random Java pop-up. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft lately, but okay, sure. Bryce Eldridge, that's who it was. He makes the game-losing play there for San Francisco. I guess I'm installing a new version of Java now. Okay. Hopefully this does not mess up the recording. Anyway, who's up next? The White Sox winning 10-3 over the Rangers. I'll speed this up a little bit as we get towards the end. Jacob deGrom, his 6th loss of the season. White Sox 53-46 after this one. Rangers 50-50 again. They're just, right around that 500 mark, as with a lot of teams in the AL. The Tigers would win 8-6 over the Cubs. Kenley Jansen, his 2nd win of the season. So this was actually an extra innings victory there for Detroit. They would win in the top of the 10th. So this was in Chicago. The Astros would win 8-5 over the Marlins as the Marlins continue to skid. Eniel De Los Santos, his 1st win out of the bullpen. Josh Junk, I think his first name's Josh, right? Is your first name Josh? Nope, never mind. It's Jansen Junk, his 6th loss of the season there for Miami. I have successfully installed Java. Or I guess like reinstalled. I don't know. Updated Java. Let's go. I can go play Minecraft again. I've been playing a lot of all the mods. So it's all the mods 10 with Cobblemon. So it's big old mod pack with Pokemon in it. And it's been really, really fun. I've been trying out this tech mod called Aura-Tech, which is like, I might make like something like YouTube wise on it because it's been very fun. I've been enjoying it a lot. But that is not baseball. So I will go back to baseball. The Mariners would shut out the Reds 8-0. Getting over 500 again here. George Kirby, his 8th win of the season. Andrew Abbott, his 6th loss of the season. Only 3 hits surrendered by the Mariners all game. And obviously no runs as well. So very, very typical, very good Mariners pitching performance there. And the offense actually showed up too, which was nice. I think Cal Raleigh had a grand slam in this one on like a hanging slider, hanging curveball that was just like right in the middle of the plate. It was a really bad pitch from a lefty too. So it was just like, I guess Raleigh's a switch hitter, so it didn't matter too much, but it was like you could not serve up that pitch any better against a guy like Cal Raleigh. It was not a good pitch. But anyway, the last game was the Angels winning 3-2 over the Cardinals. Riley O'Brien actually blew the save here. I guess he had the save. He got the loss at least. Yeah, he blew the save. So was pitching in the bottom of the ninth and actually gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth to lose it there for St. Louis, as those two teams. And the Angels actually got to 40 wins. So, hey, the last team in baseball finally got to 40 wins. And that brings us to today. Again, technically yesterday at this point. But it brings us to Tuesday. So the Orioles and Red Sox, as I said earlier, they got postponed to Wednesday. Same with the Pirates and Yankees, both of them playing double headers on what is now today. The Dodgers would win 2-1 over the Phillies. Phillies had a chance to win it in the bottom of the ninth. This is a Justin Robleski win. Zach Wheeler loss. Robleski 11 wins. Wheeler 2 losses now. Tanner Scott saved number 15, but this was, I think it was runners on second and third. I don't know if it was bases loaded, but it was definitely runners on second and third. It was JT Realmuto at second, and then someone else at third. Let's see, who was it at third? It was JP Crawford at third base and Brandon Marsh at the plate. This is after JT Realmuto hit a double with 2 outs, or with 1 out actually, in the ninth. So Alec Boehm singles to lead off the inning, then gets pinch ran for by JP Crawford. Lenyn Sosa strikes out swinging. I'm pretty sure that's Lenyn Sosa. I know I was about to say Sammy Sosa, but that was not correct at all. But someone named Sosa, I'm assuming it's Lenyn Sosa, because I know he is a current MLB player with the last name of Sosa. Strikes out. So then Realmuto doubles, second and third, 1 out. Brandon Marsh gets up, grounds over to basically to third, and Crawford's going on contact, so he goes home. And the throw to the plate is well in time, so Crawford starts kind of running back to third base, not first base, and eventually gets tagged out there. And then for some reason, Realmuto just decides to, like, he's basically at third base when Crawford's like tagged out about halfway down the line. And then for some reason, Realmuto just decides to run back to second base like it was a foul ball like a fly ball that got caught. So he just gets thrown out at second for some reason when he could have just stayed at third base. I have no idea what he was doing there. It was very, very dumb. And the Phillies lost because of that. So that sucks for them. Definitely. In the meantime, the Guardians would win 5-2 over the Twins. They would, Cade Smith, I believe, got another save here. His 29th on the season, as the Guardians would win 2 straight over their division rival Twins. The Rays would just demolish the Blue Jays, winning 12-2. Kevin Gausman with a terrible performance. He left early. I don't know if it was an injury or just because he was pitching poorly, but he left after only 3 1/3 inning. Gave up multiple hits and multiple runs. It was not good from Gausman at all. Although his defense didn't help him out either whatsoever, but it was not a good performance there from the former Oriole and Kevin Gausman, actually. Anyway, the Padres would find another win here. Walker Buehler, his 6th win of the season. They would beat the Braves 8-3. So they would even up that series there. Fernando Tatis Jr. actually had a pretty good game. 3 for 5 home run, 3 RBIs there for Tatis. Manny Machado also had 2 home runs in the game. So it was the guys that they've been expecting to do good things this season, but have not for a lot of the season, did do well this time around. Next up, the Mets would shut out the Brewers, winning 4-0. Brandon Sproat, his 5th loss of the season against, I believe, his former team. I want to say Sproat was a former Met. I don't know if major leaguer or minor leaguer, but he was on there at one point. Mets even up the series there against Milwaukee. The Royals would win 3-2 over the Giants. Luinder Avila with his 5th win of the season. Not an extra or late game thing either. Just a good performance there from KC. They would win 2 in a row against San Francisco. In the meantime, the Rangers would win 10-0 over the White Sox. So they would, I believe, even up that series there. Only 3 hits as well there for Texas pitching. So great performance from them. They would, after losing 10-3, they would win 10-0 there. So good there for Texas. The Cubs would win 11-2 over the Tigers. They just completely destroyed them this time around. They even up series from Valdez with his 7th loss on the season. PCA had a very good game in this one when I was watching it on MLB Big Inning earlier this night. Next up, the Astros would win 5-3 over the Marlins. I believe Yordan Alvarez had a home run in this game. I want to say he did. No, actually he didn't. Never mind. Jeremy Pena with a home run in this game. And Itzhak Paredes with a 3-run home run as well. But this was the Marlins losing, 6 in a row at this point? I think I said earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, 8 in a row. That's what it was. Yeah, Marlins losing 8 in a row at this point. 52-50. Astros winning a couple row after getting swept by the Orioles. Next up, the Rockies would win 8-7 over the Nationals. Nats falling back to 500 again. Let's see, this was Rockies scoring the game-winning run in the bottom of the 8th off of a Hunter Goodman solo shot. Can maybe see him get traded at the deadline to a catcher-needy team because he's been playing very well for Colorado. And so after that, we get to... What do we get to? The Angels winning 2 in a row against the Cardinals. That's what we get to. 5-1 in this one. Walbert Urena with his 6th win of the season. I should have picked him up. I actually wound up picking up Matthew Liberatore instead, the losing pitcher in this game for the Cardinals. Got only 2 or 3 points. Urena probably would have gotten significantly more than that. But oh well, can't win them all if you're a fantasy baseball manager. Anyway, the Diamondbacks would win 6-5 over the Athletics. This was the D-backs evening up the series there against the A's. And this was an extra innings walk-off there for Ildemaro Vargas with an RBI single to score it in the end. They would score 2 in the bottom of the 10th to go on and win it. Did Arizona. And then last but not least, the final game we'll be recapping. It is the Reds winning 4-2 over the Mariners. Chase Burns with his 12th win of the season. Emilio Pagan, his 8th save of the season as well there for Cincinnati. And so Mariners fall back once again to 500 as they, along again with mostly everyone in the AOS, just kind of tends to do. So anyway, we go to the standings. And so I somehow clicked my way onto the PGA Tour. I don't really know why that happened. Standings. That's where I want to go. The AL East is still being led by the Tampa Bay Rays, though it is now a good bit closer overall. The Rays are at 58-42. The Yankees are only 2 games back at 56-44. They've been playing pretty well as of late. The Red Sox are now only 6.5 back at 51-48. They've obviously won their last 14, 10-0 in their last 10. So they have climbed all their way back to some pretty good relevance here. The Orioles 9.5 back at 49-52, but they're again 7-3 in their last 10. They're playing very well too. The Blue Jays are now the last place team in the AL East at 12.5 games back, 46-55. They could probably sell the deadline. I know a lot of people have been saying Kevin Gausman's going to get shipped off. I actually wouldn't mind the Orioles picking him up. Returning him home to Baltimore. That would be kind of neat. Anyway, next up, the AL Central is actually in a tie by winning percentage, at least, between the White Sox and Guardians. White Sox at 53 and 47, Guardians at 54 and 48. So one more win, one more loss there for Cleveland. They have an even run differential as well, exactly 0 for their run differential too, which is interesting. Next up, the Twins are 5 back at 49.53. The Tigers 6.5 back at 47.54. And then the Royals 12 back at 42 and 60. The AL West is being led by the Texas Rangers at 51 and 50. Mariners a half game back at 51 and 51. Astros 3 back at 49 and 54. A's 8 back at 43 and 58. And then the Angels 10.5 back at 41 and 61. Over in the National League, the East is being led still by the Braves at, nice voice crack, by the Braves at 58 and 42. Got to enunciate a little bit more to prevent those. The Phillies are only 3 games back at 56 and 46. Marlins 7 back at 52 and 50. They had, again, got very close, but then they've lost 8 in a row, so they are no longer close. Nats 8 back at 51 and 51. And then the Mets 16 back at 43 and 59. They are for sure selling at the deadline. It's not been a good season for the Mets at all. The NL Central is still being led by the Milwaukee Brewers at 63 and 38. They are the second best team in baseball behind the Dodgers. The Cubs are 6 back at 57 and 44. Pirates 11 back at 52 and 49. Cardinals 11.5 back at 51 and 49. Reds 16.5 back at 46 and 54. Reds probably selling at the deadline. And last but not least, the NL West, which is unsurprisingly still being led by the Dodgers at a plus 153 run differential as well, and a 64 and 38 record. They are just very good. They are 4 and 6 in the last 10. The Diamondbacks are 11.5 back at 52 and 49. Padres 13.5 back at 50 and 51. Giants 21.5 back at 42 and 59. They are for sure selling at the deadline. Same with the Rockies, who are 23.5 back at 41 and 62. We go to some statistics, as always. Batting average leaders, Otto Lopez leads majors at 332. Yordan Alvarez second at 326. Luis Arias third at 323. Yandy Diaz fourth at 312. Nick Gonzalez fifth at 309. Home run leaders, it is still Kyle Schwarber at 33, though Yordan Alvarez has actually tied him now, also at 33. Hunter Goodman now is at third at 31 home runs. Junior Caminero and Ben Rice are tied at 29 in fourth place as well. Next up, RBIs. CJ Abrams and Jordan Walker are tied at 76. Yordan Alvarez one behind them at 75. Sal Stewart at 71. Alec Burleson 69. I'm actually curious to see where Pete Alonso is because he's also pretty close, right? He's at 66. So he's tied for 9th, actually. So there's a lot of guys up there at the top, but Alonso's pretty close. Anyway, where was I? Hits, that's where I was at. Otto Lopez at 130. Luis Arias 122. Yordan Alvarez 120. Yandy Diaz 116. Ernie Clement 113. So new name there on the hits category compared to the the batting average and home runs and all that. Then finally, stolen bases, Nasim Nunez at 37, Bobby Witt Jr. at 30, Jazz Chisholm 26, Fernando Tatis Jr. 25, PCA also 25. Pitching-wise, wins, Christopher Sanchez, Chase Burns, Sonny Gray, and Aaron Ashby all have 12. Foster Griffin, plus I bet a lot of others, all have 11 wins. He's just the one listed there. ERA, it is Jacob Mizorowski at 1.57, Chris Sale 2.06, Cam Slitler 2.2, Chase Burns 2.42, Sonny Gray 2.48. Saves, it is still Cade Smith at 29, Riley O'Brien and Brian Baker at 25. Mason Miller is also at 25 as well. Then Yohan Duran at 24. Strikeouts, it is still The Miz at 173. Dylan Cease is still second at 155. Christopher Sanchez 151. Gavin Williams and Cam Slitler both 145. Quality starts, Sandy Alcantara 15. Christopher Sanchez and Yoshinobu Yamamoto 14. Sonny Gray, Michael Wacha 13. Quick peek into some other batting stats as always. Leading OPS, it is Yordan Alvarez, unsurprisingly, at 1,082. Ben Rice, 966. James Wood, 965. Most strikeouts, it should be still Kyle Schwarber at 152 this time. James Wood second at 141. Zach Neto, 139. Most walks, it is James Wood at 81. Taylor Ward, 79. Nick Kurtz, 76. Most triples, it should still be Corbin Carroll, I assume. Yep, he's still at 10. Luis Ariz, 7. Jake McCarthy, Xavier Edwards, Otto Lopez, Chandler Simpson, all at 6. So I don't think that has changed at all from last Thursday. Sounds about right. Doubles, it is Otto Lopez with 27, Matt Olson, Rafi Devers, James Wood, and Cedon Rafael at 25. And then Brian Reynolds, Bryce Terang, Miguel Vargas, and Troy Johnston at 24. And then we go to pitching. Actually, wait, we do WAR leaders first for batters. And I think this just counts total WAR as a batter, so I think it includes like defensive WAR as well. It's why Peaker Armstrong is first at 5.6. Bobby Wood Jr. second at 4.9. Actually tied with Otto Lopez, 4.9. Kevin McGonigal, 4.8 WAR. And again, that is wins above replacement. So we go to pitching. Most losses on the season. Kevin Gossman, Michael Lorenzen, Kyle Freeland, Tyler Mahle, Luis Castillo, Jeffrey Springs, Shane Baz, Freddie Peralta, Zach Gallen, Brady Singer, Kyle Bradish, Tanner Bybee, Mike Burrows, all with 9 losses. Most holds, it is Tyler Rogers and Jojo Romero and Eric Sabrowski, all at 20. So Sabrowski's kind of been up there at the top for a while at holds. I actually still don't really know exactly what a hold is. I just know that is a stat that exists. Most innings pitched, it is Sandy Alcantara at 132 and 2/3 innings. Christopher Sanchez at 136 and 2/3 innings for Sandy Alcantara, 132 and 2/3 for Sanchez, 125 and a third for Michael Wacha. Most home runs given up, it is Jeffrey Springs at 27, Zach Littell 25, Aaron Nola 23. Most walks given up, it is Bubba Chandler 55, Robbie Ray 54, Jose Soriano also 54, Joey Cantillo 52. And then WAR leaders, it is Christopher Sanchez 5.5, Zach Wheeler 4.7, Jacob Mizorowski 4.4. So Phillies have top 2 leaders in WAR for pitchers. That's pretty impressive right there. That's also going to do it. I just realized that is everything I think I want to cover in this here episode. It actually went longer than I expected, despite not being a full, weekly schedule like it usually is. I just kind of spent a little bit longer on some of these games. But yeah, that will do it. Next episode might be something on Saturday. I don't know. I've been slacking on those episodes. I just haven't thought of a good topic to cover yet. But maybe I'll think of something. I don't know. We'll see what happens, though. Otherwise, next week, as per usual, more baseball. Hopefully the Orioles can find some more wins. Hopefully they can beat the Red Sox. Or maybe the Red Sox will have like a 21-game winning streak by this time next week. That would be crazy. But we'll have to see. For now, though, thank you very much for listening.